நோடி ஆரோக்கியத்தின் அடையாளம்.
Honorable Madam Minister, our Chief Guest, Dr. Karthikeyan, my very good friend and a former director of the CBI and a very good police officer that I have ever known anywhere in the world. My very dear friend, the birthday baby whose birthday falls tomorrow, so let me wish him in public a very happy birthday. Peter, all the distinguished dignitaries on the dais, our friends from abroad and members of the Peters Noni family. Members of the press, I must thank Peter for giving me this golden opportunity to share my views with you all this afternoon for reasons more than one. I had promised Peter that I will speak to you on a new future focus of human wellness, which is called energy medicine, treating all diseases from common cold to cancer using simple energies available on the planet. But having seen the minister here, because ministers are very effective in implementing newer policies, and knowing her as I do, because she is young, she is intelligent, she is motivated, and she has the good of the people at heart. So I would like to give you a new perspective of womanhood and wellness, the two words I love most. We in modern medicine try and keep society unhealthy, unwell, because that's our business. If all of you become well, I have no business at all. I call it as disease mongering. But wellness is a concept that is good for mankind for the simple reason that only less than 1% of mankind today has touch with so-called high-tech modern medicine. Rest of them make do with their local remedies for common ailments. Peruvians in the 16th century believed that God gives a treatment for any disease which He brings on people. Malaria used to be so rampant that millions used to die of malaria in Peru in the 16th century. So the Peruvians went to the forest, saw a beautiful tree which was white, cut the bark, made a decoction, drank it, malaria disappeared. That tree was so beautiful, their viceroy's wife was so beautiful, her name was Cinchona. They called the tree Cinchona tree. And Cinchona bark gave us quinine, quinidine and various other very powerful drugs. Europeans became jealous. If Peruvians could do that, why not we? So they went to their forest and cut another white tree, made a decoction and drank. Fever went, malaria did not go, patients died. That is the willow bark from which we have got a very important drug, aspirin, acetyl salicylic acid. See? So if you follow nature, you get treatment for every disease. Now, wellness is your birthright. Remember that. You are born with an inbuilt immune system to keep you well till you die. It's only in the unlikely event, very unlikely event, if your immune system fails, you may have to supplement it from outside. But this has become more now because we have completely ruined our environment. We put pesticides into the earth, So the food that you get at the end is chemical poison. You give hormones to the chicken that you eat, hormones to the cow to give you more milk for making more money, and eventually you get growth hormone in the milk. And in the United States now, girls' menarche has advanced to 9 years, 8 to 9 years. This is because of the human growth hormone. But out with all this is the largest problem that you and I probably don't know, because we are comfortable, we get our 3 meals, and most of us got a very nice lunch now. 973 million in this world. Mark my words, 1/6 of the world's population suffer from a disease called NIDS. Have you heard of that? NIDS. Have you heard of that? No, you all heard of AIDS, right? Only 30 million, 33 million suffer from AIDS. That little 33 million provokes so much of sympathy in you, but these 973 million NIDS people don't. Do you know why? You don't know such a thing exists. That's called nutritional immune deficiency syndrome. Our India, my country, our minister's country, we have 67 million children suffering from NIDS on a given day. And they die at a rate of 6,000 per day. It doesn't move our conscience at all. If you get your immune system depressed, even a cold can kill you. Just like an AIDS patient. You get a pneumonia, you're off. A child with the NIDS gets diarrhea, child meets his maker precautiously. Now this is our future, and for which the government in its wisdom in the last 10 years did what is called ICDS, Integrated Child Development Scheme. They spent 1,200 crores a year for 10 years from 1997 to 2007. And when they looked at it now, audit, in 1997, the incidence of malnutrition in children in India was 47%. In 2007, it is 46.4%. Why? Because after the child is born, the immune system is all formed. And even if you feed it at both ends, the child's future is not going to change very much. You require to look after the mother. Remember that, that's where the woman comes in. When the whole child is made, in the first 3 months of pregnancy, remember that. The first 3 months of pregnancy, your heart is made, your pancreas is made, your brain is made, your liver is made, your whole body is made. And if the mother at that stage doesn't have proper food, which most of our poor people all over the world do not, the child is formed very defective, a small child, a small pancreas. Even if this child survives, by the age of 30, if it eats good food, it becomes a diabetic. Small heart, it gets a heart attack at the age of 40. Narrow blood vessels, hypertension at the age of 30. See? And this child, even if you give 100% reservation to go to school, it doesn't have that part of the brain which is needed for studying, called hippocampus major, which is also made in the first 12 weeks of pregnancy. So the child cannot pass primary school, even if you give free education, free food, do anything you like. So our aim must be not just to give midday meal for poor children, midday meal for every pregnant poor lady in India. When I wrote about this 2 years ago, it got published in so many outlets. Nobody responded except 2 chief ministers of 2 states. I won't tell you who they are. These 2 people invited me and said, what are you talking about? And they have now started some schemes for looking after pregnant women. I like Peter's idea of Women's Congress. I always used to tell my students, if I educate a man, I have educated one human being. If I educate a woman, I have educated a whole generation. Because every newborn child is a genius, said Alexis Carrel, only to be converted into an idiot in school, he said. Socrates said, let not my schooling come in the way of my education. The best school for a child is a mother. Right at the time the child is in the womb, now science tells you that consciousness starts on the day you are made in your mother's womb. And the mother with the child inside full of consciousness, if she is educated, she can educate the child in turn right from day one. And when the child comes out, for the next 3 or 4 years when the mother is very close to the child gets education again. And that mother's health is good, the child's health will be good for the rest of the child's life. I want every mother to feed her child. Breastfeeding is the only thing that will give you a very strong immune system for the rest of your life. Breast milk contains so many antibodies. You don't have to vaccinate a child if you feed breast milk every day for the child. How long? I would say as long as you can. 3 years, 4 years, go ahead. 5 years, it doesn't hurt your health either. It's the best family planning method. As long as you feed the child, another child doesn't get formed in the womb. Not giving mother's milk and giving foreign milk, cow's milk or buffalo's milk or goat's milk, you are supplying foreign protein when the child is very young. The body wants to reject it. And all our allergies, all our autoimmune diseases are because we are taking foreign protein. A child which doesn't get mother's milk at all, if the mother is dead, that child gets a peculiar disease which is very commonly seen in Africa, which is called marasmus. The child bloats up and dies very young. But if a child has a poor mother who gives little milk but nothing more, the child gets another disease called kwashiorkor, where the child doesn't have any protein at all. Kwashiorkor in Africa means one who comes after. So the child comes one after another in frequent succession, hardly any breast milk is available for the child. So education of woman brings forth a new generation of healthy world citizens, A. B. An educated world citizens, C. It brings in that commodity called universal compassion. Mother loves the child and conveys that feeling to the child, and that feeling gets ingrained in the child's mind, and the child wants to love everyone. Singh Saab was quoting the Mahabharata, Gita and all. I would also like to tell you something. Indian concept gives us, there's no religion, I'm talking of the Sanatana Dharma, ageless obligation, which says, Paropakarartham idam shariram, you live for others. In modern science, this is a very important concept because we know every human cell loves another human cell. I'll give you an example. If anyone of you get a heart attack now, God forbid, if you don't see a doctor, there's a good chance he will survive. If you don't, you are dead even before you know you have a heart attack. With 60% of people get a heart attack, die in their sleep instantaneously and without knowing that they had a heart attack. If you get a heart attack and don't see a doctor, 4 things happen in the body. A few cells in the heart die. When they die, the neighboring cells say, oh my God, my friend has died, what do I do? Supposing your neighbor has died, you don't do anything because you don't want to get involved in the police case. Because all police officers are not like Karthikeyan Saab. But these cells don't worry about police case. They immediately jump and go and occupy the place where the dead cells have been there in the past. It is called cell slipping. See, 2 processes. Cell death, cell slipping. Now when the cells have slipped out, the cells have mothers called fibroblasts. They hold them. Now the mother says, oh, my son has slipped out. What do I do? So he says, okay, my son must have gone to help somebody. So he requests strength. So it produces more fiber. So fibroblastic proliferation occurs. So beautiful, see? Cell death, cell slipping, fibroblastic proliferation. So they get a good scar, very good scar. Fine? So you have heart attack, you have a scar, you are recovered. It's called remodeling of the heart. Now let us say the cells in the periphery of the heart, which could not slip there, they feel bad. What have I done? I should also help. They become stronger. They say, let the whole heart become stronger. It's called hypertrophy. So 4 things happen to remodel the heart. Cell death, cell slipping, fibroblastic proliferation and hypertrophy. So you have a very strong heart. Supposing you come to me, what do? As soon as I see you, I give you an ACE inhibitor and a beta blocker. So I knock off the system which helps this normal formation. Same thing happens in life. Wellness is, do you know what is wellness? Enthusiasm to work. Remember that. Enthusiasm to work and enthusiasm to be compassionate. It's not absence of disease, because as I was telling my friend a little while ago, there isn't anything called absence of disease. All of us have a disease every day. If I can check it, if I can get a total body scanner now and go under that, I might be having several nomenclatures for me. But they don't bother me as long as they don't worry me. So as my predecessor was saying, everything is in the mind. Where is the mind? Never mind. What is matter? No matter. The mind is in every human cell at its subatomic level. So if your cell becomes happy, your mind becomes happy. When you know how to breathe properly, you take a deep and slow breathing, you oxygenate your blood better, and your cell gets better oxygen, cell becomes happy, your mind becomes happy, you become tranquil. Try this next time you are angry against somebody. Let us say your flight last minute is declared to be delayed by 2 hours. You want to kill that lady in the counter at that time. If you check your blood pressure, it is almost in the skies. Absence of disease is not wellness, because there are people who are diseased, not ordinary disease, horrible disease, who have lived well for as long as 3 to 4 decades. Give you one example. Steve Hawking, professor of physics in Cambridge, suffers from a disease which I as a doctor shudder to think of it. It's called amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. According to my textbook, the diagnosis of amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, the patient will be dead in 2 years' time. 42 years this man has been doing phenomenal work in theoretic physics, writing books, lecturing, teaching in Cambridge and doing research. Because he has a healthy mind. What is that? Enthusiasm to work and enthusiasm to be compassionate. So friends, we will now connect wellness to women. If women are educated, women are well, the future generation becomes well, the future generation becomes educated, and future leaders become educated, and future bureaucrats become educated. And this whole world will be a happy place to live in. When we hate each other, we are unwell. Did you know that? If you hate anyone, you are not well at all. Because hating is alien to human normal cell. Cell loves another cell. Actually, cell loves another cell of another human being also. Thank to God and nature that we have an immune system. Otherwise today, in this Wellness Women's Congress, we would have all been one mass of cells called syncytium. Did you know that? Our cells attract one another so much. That's why if you sit by the side of good people like Madam Minister and Karthikeyan, I get all their good leptococcus and I become a better human being. This is a movement that Peter has started, and I want this movement to spread to the whole world. What does this movement say? Women. 55% of the world population of women. 2, wellness. What is wellness? Loving one another. Loving one another, that's what I said. Love, don't mistake me when I use the word love. There are 3 words for love in Greek language. One is called eros. Eros is erotic love. I am not talking of that. Another one is called affinity. I'm not talking of that either. The third and the most important Greek word for love is called agape. Agape or agapo, which means compassion, universal compassion. I love everyone. What a fascinating idea. So, compassion is agape, me agapo. I love you, and that is the kind of love I want. The mother loves the child, father loves the son. That kind of love, human beings should love one another. The minute you try to help someone, remember that? If I took your blood and checked your immune system, CD4 T cells, they would have improved so much. Supposing I think I must destroy this minister in the next election, I must take her chair. If I just think like that and sincerely feel like that, you take my blood, my CD4 T cell count will be lower than a AIDS patient CD4 T cell count. So molecular biology today tells us, ladies and gentlemen, that loving one another keeps you stronger, healthier, longer on this planet. Nothing else does. And don't you ever think I can do anything and get away with it because there are doctors and hospitals and drugs and operations to keep me alive. The biggest lie on earth. Actually, I was telling my friend 15 days ago, there was the latest IOM meeting in America. IOM is an audit body called the Institute of Medicine, appointed by the Academy of Science to audit what doctors do, which of course a few years ago said the leading cause of death in the world are doctors and hospitals and medicines and drugs. Second is cancer, third is heart attack. The latest report says doctors are more dangerous than what you have been thinking so far. Madam Minister was telling me that doctors don't go to the villages. What do we do? Dr. Hegde, she was asking me. I will give her the experience of 14 countries study, industrialized countries, starting from United States of America to Japan, where there were more doctors per capita. Did you mark my words? Where in those countries where there were more doctors per capita, death rate was the highest, longevity was the lowest, health was the worst. Where there were less doctors per capita, longevity was the longest, health was the best, death rate was the lowest. This is called the 14 country study, my friend, 14 country study. You can check that. It's in JAMA 2000 248 483. It also showed, very interesting, Bogota in Colombia some years ago, Saskatchewan in Canada, St. Stephen's Hospital in Dublin, Israel, and Los Angeles County 15 years ago, doctors went on strike. Do you want to know what happened? Mortality and morbidity fell down precipitously. Only to go back to the level when doctors joined back to work. Provoking the British Medical Journal to write an editorial, quote, doctors going on strike will certainly improve society's health. So friends, your health is in your hands. Health is not something which happens in the body. Health takes into effect your genes or what you have inherited from your parents, your environment where you live, and the gorging of food that you all take. You think the food is there for all of you to eat as much as you want. No. We eat at least about 10 times more than what we need. If you eat in moderation, small amount of food, and the food that you enjoy, and then love the whole world, and keep your mind free from all anger, jealousy, hatred, pride, etc., etc., you will certainly live till you die. Did I say you will live for here 100 years? No, I didn't say that. But our aim is, you don't want to be dependent on somebody with a disease till you die. So you will be healthy till you die, and the day you die, you simply die. There is an Irish couplet I want to tell you. I quote, I eat when I am hungry, I drink when I am thirsty. If heavens don't fall down, I'll certainly live till I die. Which is absolutely true. Ayurveda says the same thing. Samadhatu, samagrischa, samadosha, malakriya, prasannatma indriya manaha swastaitya vidyate. You shit well, you eat well, you work well, you sleep well, you enjoy everything, and you don't hate nobody and don't have any hatred, you will not get any disease till you die. That is the concept Peter wants to send to the world. He wants to hug everybody. When you hug somebody with all agape, I don't want to use the word love. When you want heat with agape, your blood pressure comes down, your cholesterol comes down, your sugar comes down, your heart rate comes down, your breathing improves, and you live a day longer. You meet somebody in the morning, give him a smile. Do you know how difficult it is to give a natural smile? We can all grin artificially. That is very stressful. But a natural smile relaxes about 150 muscles and releases so many endorphins, you feel healthier. Because you give a natural smile in the morning free, in the evening when your spirits are down, you may need one in turn. In the last 15 odd years, we have been working on a simple system of treating major human illnesses. You name it may be cancer, heart attack, stroke, what have you. Because we believe that the whole human world revolves around a human cell. One cell. How many cells do you have in the body? Any idea? 1 billion? My God. 10 to the power 14 billion. 100,000 billion cells are there. Each cell is a universe in itself. It can run your whole body. What was said in Indian philosophy thousands of years ago, Purnamidam, Purnamadaha, Purnasya, Purnamadaya, Purnamavayashishtati. What a beautiful thought. Latest quantum physics says the same thing. One cell can run. Now what is the cell running on? What's the petrol? Energy. Where does it come from? The sun, lightning, and fire. The three energy sources of known energies. Schumann, a physicist, had calculated how much of energy there is around the globe, which is called the Schumann energy circle. Now each cell is like a computer. Actually, probably million times better than your best computer. And this has a hardware, which is a cell structure that we see, but a software which is the energy from the universe is tapped by the software and runs the hardware. Get the point now? I don't want to go into the subtleties, it's very difficult to understand. Now, normally, the sun's energy, you get it. That's why I tell all of you, even the Caucasian races here, sit in the sun for at least half an hour a day. You don't get cancer of the skin, don't worry. It's all a myth to sell sunscreens. Sit in the sun. Actually, Niels Jensen in 1903 got a Nobel Prize in medicine for showing that if you sit in the sun with the TB, your TB improves. Nobel Prize. Now this energy is tapped by the cells, proteins, and they transduce that energy and supply it to the hardware. Disease is, the cells lose the capacity to suck that energy. So we have devised a small cell phone-like machine which generates the same energy and pulses it onto the cell. Suppose you have a heart attack, God forbid, I have a machine in the pocket. I can just put it on you, and within minutes your heart starts picking up. Within hours you sit up. Within a day you go home. This is called energy medicine. This is a known energy. Now 95% of energy is occult energy. Praying for someone else, prayer works, Reiki, pranic healing, chi, so many kinds of energies work. But the one who does that must be authentic. There are so many charlatans who spoil the name of these good practices. So friends, wellness can be maintained very easily. Wellness is not difficult at all. Only thing is, you have to avoid all the poisons that tempt you, surround you, entice you through the media. The morning you get up, it says, oh, this is a very good toothpaste. What's a toothpaste? It's just soap. Last year, the best teeth award in India went to a Gurgaon farmer who has not seen toothpaste at all. He used to use neem stick for cleaning his teeth. When I was a child in our village, we used to use mango leaves for cleaning the teeth and the skeleton of the leaf for cleaning your tongue. Natural. So, we must get back to nature. What does nature do? It has a balance. It's a beautiful balance. Let us not have artificial things. That's everywhere. For example, you go to the Middle East, they have the white dress. Why? It sucks that energy, sun's energy, and puts it back. It's very healthy for them. Supposing I put on that dress and walk here, you go to Europe, you require a 3-piece suit. Very comfortable, because there's so much cold, you don't want to. But if I put a 3-piece suit here, I will suffer because I'll be sweating so much inside. By the evening I am sapped, my energy is completely out. You require, do you know what kind of, here, we have done some work on energy. And mundu. Like a sari, you have seen in Madras, for those of you who come here, you see, go out and see, they have a lungi and a shirt. Very good for health. We learned the habit of drinking ice water from the fridge. In America, if you go, they don't drink water, they drink ice only. Each time you drink ice water, the body has to increase the temperature to 37 degrees centigrade. So much of energy is used up unnecessarily. So if you go on drinking ice water or ice drinks in the evening, half of your energy goes to warming that only. See how you are killing yourself slowly. So get back to nature. Try to learn from nature. Live by nature and don't go against nature. There was a great thinker in this part of India who became the first Governor General of India. His name is late Chakravarti Rajagopalachari. He was the president when the big Bakaranangal project was being conceived. He wrote a letter to the then Prime Minister. I will quote a sentence from there. Dear Jawahar, if you treat nature as your mother, she will feed you for all times to come. If you mistreat nature as your mistress, she will kick you in the teeth. All these large projects have now brought us only difficulties. Friends, let us look after the 973 million people who don't have one meal a day. The greatest stress for mankind is not the stresses that you see in the books. No, not knowing where your next meal comes from is the biggest stress. You and I don't bother. 95% of the world's population lives by 5% of the resources. 5% of the world's population lives by the 95% of the resources. What a disparity. I have an article in the British Medical Journal recently, you can read that, where I have titled as Noblesse Oblige. The nobility in the olden days had an obligation for the have-nots. Today you and I, who have something, have an obligation for the have-nots. So my appeal to you all, women and men included in that, because I was not expecting to see so many men here, that each one, at least reach one who hasn't got more than a meal. Let us not just depend on the government for feeding us. It's impossible. No government anywhere in the world, even if use all the GDP, can feed everybody or look after everybody. No. Each one will have to look after each one. Because we have a social obligation to each other. And that can be done through wellness concept and universal compassion. Suffice it to say how much I enjoyed interacting with you. Probably I confused you a bit, but that was the idea. Because if I didn't do that, I won't tickle you. If I tickled you, you will go home and think, what was that ass talking about? Then some new thought comes in your mind, and that's what I want to generate in you. De Valera, the revolutionary Irish president who got independence for Ireland after 850 years of rule by the British, had one formula to sell an idea to an audience. He told them, you tell the audience what you're going to tell them, then tell them, and then tell them what you told them. So in the beginning I told you what I was going to tell you, then I have been telling you, now I'll tell you what I told you. The future of this world is in your hands. If you love one another, this world will survive. If we hate one another, the world will never survive. Your life is not long enough to hate people. Life is long enough to love everyone. Thank you, Peter, and thank all of you.